Okay, so the 2019 East Coast camp was basically the book Small Circle Jujitsu camp. And Professor Jay was there, and he did a lot of the recording for his book. And that was 2019. 2021, the new book called Small Circle Jujitsu was published. If you hadn't got that book, get that book. Okay, we've talked about the 10 principles of Jiu-Jitsu, Small Circle Jiu-Jitsu, many times. However, that book gives us 6 more. Now, unfortunately, right now we're kind of at the end of the day. It might be hard to learn something new, but I want to teach you those 6 principles through a flow drill to make it easy to learn those new principles. We've seen them before. Josh Moray gave some of the entries. You know, so the 16th principle is actually the entries. We have two-way action, which Professor Jay talks about all the time. We have the wrist snap that also he talks about all the time. And then we have pulsing and waving is the next principle that brings us to a cascade effect. That's kind of like the Dillman guys use the term complex torque, but it's where you use multiple stimuli to make the technique. Many of you are familiar with that. The last is a whipping type of punch, where actually it's the withdrawal that is very, very helpful. Okay, so now I want to get Jesse just show a flow drill to make that easy, because for you guys testing, you have to demonstrate the 10 principles, and later on we'll have to do these. So I want to show a flow drill that kind of demonstrates those techniques with something really easy to learn. Okay, so Jesse comes in with a leading punch here. Okay, so we know rush, hold, strike, but I'm gonna make that into an arm bar, just an arm bar. Okay, so with that, of course, I use two-way action. Talked about that so many times before. Okay, another one of the principles and another one of the things you can do with a arm bar is use this. Okay, and you have seen that, and it almost gives you a nice arm bar by itself, but you use that in conjunction with all these other things. Okay, so the next principle is waving and pulsing. And you guys saw that, you know, actually with the brush check strike, and then we roll and we pulse. Triple warmer 11 to get a different effect. Okay, so we've got the wrist snap, we've got the pulsing and rate and pulsing and waving. That causes a cascade effect, is a term that we're using in the book. Okay, so there's one more. Okay, so let's say that didn't work. Okay, so he uses a whipping type of punch. Okay, which is, you know, basically I would bring him in, punch to the soft tissue, and really the response to make it back is the withdrawal. So you don't just go in, it's kind of more of a, you know, using your body and it's whipping back. And so he calls that a whipping strike. That's the new 6th principle.